Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive insights, and wisdom, and we go as guided. Welcome, Olivia. So we're going to jump right in because part of the course, there's a lot to get to, especially as we're looking and working with the upcoming Aquarius full moon and the Neptune-Saturn conjunction. So let's jump in and look at our main energies. Bring those up. So it's an 8-month, all month long. So we have uniting, unite, this conflict, let go, small restraint, surrender, split apart, regenerate, and nourished while waiting, patience. So these themes have been playing out for some time, and it's all about uniting from the inside out, letting go of the conflict, empty the vessel. That small restraint surrender is going as guided and listening. And that splitting apart from the old to regenerate. It's leaving behind what we don't need. And this nourished while waiting and having patience. So as we look at this, let's just jump into this astrological chart for the upcoming Aquarius full moon. It is so beautiful and action-packed. And when you look in the center of the ring, you can see the 5-pointed star. You can see the pentagon. You can see this grand air trine, the big triangle. You can see the rectangle. You can see the envelope. There, you can see the X marks the spot with these double, actual triple oppositions. There's so much in this chart. And again, hopefully you can hear in my voice how auspicious it is. Because it brings us into two of our astrological influences. So with this chart, the unseen said star quality. So it's about the star card. It's about us as the star. We are the featured character in our life play, in our life drama, if you will. And thereby, this is all about star quality, madness, and an invitation. So again, there may be star quality madness. This is about the illusion. Am I in illusion, delusion? Am I lying to myself? And so forth. So this star quality madness, but also star quality invitation. Is there something or someone you've been waiting to do or waiting to hear from? Or waiting to excel and quantum leap to the next thing. This invitation that comes out of nowhere. And so we have, again, this beautiful chart for the full moon in Aquarius. It's occurring on the 9th of August, Mercury retrograde, bear with me. and so there's just so much. And then this star quality madness and an invitation. And it's because also, remember, we're going back to finish up. Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury are currently retrograde. Uranus just moved into Gemini. We had the Sun, Mercury, Cazimi. Then today, literally, Mars enters Libra, and you're going to see how much Mars is playing a role. And then upcoming on the 9th is the full moon in Aquarius. So we have all of this, and this all culminates and ties into our main theme, which is unfamiliar territory, advance. We are in unfamiliar territory. And the beautiful thing in the image, you see these two starfish laying at the edge of the water, of the ocean, out of the seawater. Beautiful star, beautiful sun rising. And this ties in with the starfish story. The starfish story is a parable about making a difference, even when faced with a seemingly overwhelming task or situation. It's often used to illustrate the idea that every individual act of kindness or service can have a positive impact, no matter how small it may seem. While the story itself isn't explicitly found in the Bible, there's a parallel here, it's a parable. It aligns with the biblical themes of compassion, service, and the value of each individual person. In the parable, a young boy is seen rescuing stranded starfish by throwing them back into the ocean. An older man questions his actions, pointing out the futility of saving just a few when there are so many. The boy replies, "I made a difference to that one." Each small act of kindness, of service, of that paying it forward, of being the world, the person that we wish to see, is meaningful. The story emphasizes that every life has value, mirroring the biblical emphasis on the worth of every human being in God's eyes. The boy's actions can be seen as an act of service, aligning with biblical teachings on serving others and contributing to the well-being of the community. And it doesn't have to be just biblical. This is in all books, in the Quran, in Sufi, and Hinduism. They all have the same story, these acts of service and kindness. The story encourages perseverance in the face of challenges, similar to the biblical call to remain steadfast in faith and service. While the task may seem impossible, the story reminds us that even small actions can have a significant impact, echoing themes of faith and God's ability to work through individuals, the unseen working through us. This act of rescuing the starfish demonstrates compassion. In essence, the starfish story serves as a powerful illustration, encouraging individuals to act with compassion, serve others, and believe in the positive impact of even small acts of kindness. This is the matriarchal Aquarian era, we the people energy movement. And so there's this beautiful reminder that while we're in unfamiliar territory, we might be starfish out of water. There's this point that we are the rescue that we're seeking. We are that small act, that kind gesture, that act of service. And when we literally persevere and quadruple down on that, that is where that's where the magic is. That's where how we deliver ourselves. Number one from the unseen. It's the show from July 9th, 2025. They said, "Watch what happens next." So with these energies, all of these massive energies playing out, we're in unfamiliar territory, advance, watch what happens next. And they said, intense ripples and waves, like you've never seen or witnessed before. So what's going to happen next with all of these energies? And we're coming up on eclipse season that's in September. So we're going to have the two eclipses. This with the Aquarius, we the people, matriarchal, this Aquarius full moon on the 9th. Watch what happens next. Intense ripples and waves like you've never seen or witnessed before. And number two from the unseen, it takes us right into this. They said undulating patterns of harmony and discord. And then they said the gods. And undulating means to form or move in waves. So they're talking about intense ripples and waves like you've never seen and experienced or witnessed before. And then this undulating patterns of harmony and discord, the gods. Well, the goddess of harmony is Harmonia in Greek and Concordia in Roman. And so, and Eris is the goddess of discord. And then they showed me, it's in the gym. When you're in the gym, they're called battle ropes. They're the huge, thickly, intertwined ropes. They've got big knots on the end, and you move them up and down, up and down, up and down with your arms and so forth. Well, rope exercises in the gym, often involving battle ropes, are a versatile way to work multiple muscle groups and improve cardiovascular fitness. They can be used for both warm-up and high-intensity cardio workouts. Key exercises including alternating waves, rope slams, and Russian twists, all of which engage various muscles and challenge your core strength. You can't make this up if you tried. Alternating waves, rope slams, Russian twists. So watch what happens next. Watch what happens next in these intense ripples and waves like you've never seen or experienced before, in these undulating patterns of harmony and discord. So we're going to see, and these battle ropes, and then cosmic waves. And so it's both the battle ropes and the cosmic waves. Cosmic waves are more accurately called cosmic rays. They are high energy particles or clusters of particles traveling through space at nearly the speed of light. They are not electromagnetic waves like light, but rather streams of subatomic particles, primarily protons, but also including heavier atomic nuclei, electrons, and even antimatter. These particles originate from various sources, including the sun, the life force, the sun, the Milky Way galaxy, home, and distant galaxies. Well, this takes us to our key word, which is communication. And we're talking about cosmic communication, cosmic waves and rays, and communication, the transmission of information, the imparting or exchanging of information, news, signals, or messages by talk, gesture, or writing. Means of sending or receiving information, such as phone lines or computers. The active process of exchanging information and ideas. So what is the unseen talking about? They're talking about this, that we're going to experience these intense ripples and waves. We're in unfamiliar territory. We're advancing. They're going to come in undulating patterns of harmony and discord. These battle ropes and cosmic waves, cosmic rays. So, and this aspect of, and it's number 3 from the unseen. The lyrics to the song, it's an oldie and a goodie. Please, Mr. Postman. It's by the Marvelettes. And it says, is there a letter for me? And then the unseen said, a greater, uninterrupted stream of consciousness, good, bad, or indifferent. So again, we may be receiving otherworldly communication. It can come in dreams. It can come in a knowing. It may come to us that, again, have we been awaiting word from someone? Is there a letter for me? Is there communication that's incoming? This is like the 8 of Wands in the tarot. It's fast moving information, communication. And once the things arrive, once these things happen, the 8 of Wands in the tarot, it's rapid movement. It is unfamiliar territory. So as we move forward and as things just pick up speed, and again, go back to this beautiful Aquarius full moon chart. The star, the pentagon, the 5-pointed star, the pentagon, the X marks the spot, the mystic rectangles, the envelopes, the grand air trine. There is so much going on. These triple oppositions. There is a lot, as above, so below. There's a lot of cosmic activity going on. So, the unseen is saying in the moment, go with the flow. Go with the flow, because as communication, rapid communication comes in, rapid unraveling, these undulating, those battle ropes, Russian twists, these things that just come out of nowhere and come at us. It's for us, but it's going to feel like high impact. Because remember, the battle ropes can be an all over body workout. They can be isolated or they can be full body. And we've got the gods, the goddess of harmony and the goddess of discord. And Eris, the goddess of discord, she was discovered and came about in this awareness of her, the asteroid, I believe it's an asteroid, Eris, that it was at the time, this hashtag Me Too movement and this reckoning of what has taken place to the divine feminine in all of us. Yes, specifically those that are gendered female. Yes, absolutely. However, it's for all of us to recognize where we both have divine masculine, divine feminine within us. To what degree have we harmed the divine feminine within us? How have we harmed the divine masculine within us? It's not just gendered male, female, because we are both. Both energies exist and they're meant to be in harmony. And Eris, the goddess of discord, she brings about, turnabout's fair play is what they're saying. It's like she brings about this awareness of the imbalance, of the injustice, and this reckoning, so that we have reconciliation within, uniting within ourselves. So let's move now to, this is by astrobutterfly.com, the Astrology of August 2025, Uranus sextile Neptune. Sextile is a harmonious aspect. And so again, Uranus, expect the unexpected, the higher mind, the God mind, and Neptune, it's the highest ideal and the illusion, the deception. astrobutterfly.com. August 2025 is a dynamic month marked by powerful Mars activations, Mercury stationing direct, and an auspicious Venus-Jupiter conjunction, to name just a few of the alignments. The highlight transit of the month is Uranus sextiling, it's a harmonious aspect, Saturn, and Neptune, activating the long-awaited Pluto-Uranus-Neptune minor triangle for the first time. The second half of August is set to benefit from this supportive and visionary influence. In August, the planets align in a complex geometric dance, with multiple bodies aspecting each other and forming flow patterns like grand trines, mystic rectangles, and envelopes. This is the image that's in the circle of this astrological event chart for the Aquarius full moon. When we see this kind of interwoven activity, rather than isolated aspects, it signals a time of high coordination and synchronicity. The cosmic puzzle pieces are finally snapping into place. If you've been working on a project or a vision for a while, August may bring the breakthrough, things are finally falling into place moment you've been waiting for. This is when it all happens. This is the apex. Because again, when we look at this chart, take note that at the apex of the star, at the apex of that grand air triangle, the apex of the envelope, Uranus. Uranus at 1 degree Gemini. Mars is at the left flanking end at the point, and Pluto in Aquarius is at the right side of that grand air trine, of the star, the 5-pointed star, of the mystic rectangle. You see, this is what astrobutterfly.com, this is what she's talking about. This is this long-awaited synchronicity, this geometric dance, and it's complex. However, it literally spells out deliverance. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and here she is, right on time. So it takes us into, because this, again, where's the, Mr. Postman, is there a letter for me? It's a greater uninterrupted stream of consciousness that's going to be coming to us. Communication, fast-moving communication. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's how we receive it. It's where we are. Which train are we on? Where are we on the ascension and ladder and so forth? And ultimately, it's number 4 from the unseen. What do I stand for? It is a question that we are being asked. They drew a line in the sand back in August of 2017 with the Great American Eclipse. The unseen said, we're drawing a line in the sand. You're being seen. You're being counted. Here, and this is true, Astrology by Lauren has been talking about this for many weeks now. What do I stand for? And they spoke about hidden depths, hidden recesses, and to dive deeper within, to truly reach, what do I stand for? It's the well in the I Ching. It's hexagram 48, the well. This is about a dive deeper, a deeper dive within. And hidden recesses is about, generally it refers to deep, secluded, or secret places, either physical or metaphorical. It can describe physical locations like a hidden corner or alcove, or abstract spaces like the depths of one's mind or soul. In the figurative sense, it often refers to the more obscure or less accessible parts of one's thoughts, feelings, or inner self. Essentially, hidden recesses highlights the concept of something being concealed, whether physically or metaphorically, and often suggests a sense of mystery or depth. In order for us to answer the question, individually and collectively, what do I stand for? What's at my center? What do I truly want? What do I want? Welcome, Kiki. We're going to have to dive deeper within. It resides right at the surface. It's a knowing. It's always present. And then it's this, it's about accepting and revealing, aligning with these hidden depths and these hidden recesses. Because to say, or, what is it that, bad things happen when good people do nothing? Well, this is the starfish story. This is about, in this moment, where the unseen is drawing a line in the sand. And it's number 4 from the unseen. What do I stand for? Because that is going to determine your life, your experiences, your fate, your destiny, and anything. And you can tell yourself that doing the most illicit acts and the most, shadowy aspects is going to get you where you want to be. But it's Neptune. It's the height of illusion and delusion. It is the two gates, the 2 trees, the 2 houses from last week. It's the house built on sand. It's the tree with bad fruit. And it's the wide path. It is not the narrow path, the path less traveled. And it's an illusion that is going to be, that an illicit path or choice is going to sustain itself. It won't. It never has. So now let's move to our mantra. And our mantra is, I rise to meet the moment. Again, you see this beautiful waves and this image of the ocean, and how the ocean naturally pulls back, it dives deep within, and it rises, it crests to meet the moment. That same ability, that same fortitude, that same natural ability is within us. And so our mantra, I rise to meet the moment. You rise to meet the moment because you can, because you will, because your soul has already planned it. So we're simply rising to meet this moment, this time. Let's move to Astrology by Lauren, and she is speaking about the Saturn conjunct Neptune. Saturn is a planet of leadership, authority, rulers, laws, and the infrastructures of our lives. The very things that we rely on, that support us and keep us grounded. Saturn in Aries can have something of an authoritarian quality to it, like a 5-star general. Saturn in Aries takes command and lines up the troops. But when Neptune is involved, as it is this year and through the first few months of 2026, because remember, they're co-presenting right now in the first degree of Aries. They're both retrograding. They're going back to finish up business in that last degree of Pisces, and then it's advanced fully forward. So, but when Neptune is involved, it can undermine, diminish, weaken, and mask all these important structures in our lives, and we feel adrift, ungrounded, unsure, unfamiliar territory. We're in unfamiliar territory because literally the institutions, the things we thought we could rely on, are literally crumbling under this assault of the shadow of the divine masculine, the patriarchal Piscean era. And so it's ungrounded, we're unmoored, we're unsure, it's uncertain, and yet it's unfamiliar territory, but we're the starfish. And there's a magical, I just want to bring up the main theme image again. You know, this image is beautiful, it's joyous. So while these two starfish are out of water, out of their element, meaning the sea, and yet there's something very auspicious about the fact that how prized they are, how cherished they are, how mystical and magical they are. We are these mystical, magical starfish, stars. And it brings me to, let me just bring this in before we go back to Astrology by Lauren. It brings me into these 4 major arcana. This is from Brigitte Ashwood at Luminous Tarot. The star. The star card is wish fulfillment. It is, and you see it's, she has one leg, one foot on land, one in the water. That star is the star that's in the Hermit card. The Hermit card is, what's the next steps? We're in unfamiliar territory. So what's the next step? And the light of the star, it's not a floodlight. It doesn't tell us everything down and around the corner. It just tells us, it illuminates what the next steps are. So we're working with the star, this highest ideal, this wish fulfillment. It can mean people at a distance, things of that nature. Again, communication, waiting to hear from them. The light, the star, is put into the lantern of the hermit. It's going to illuminate our next steps. All the while, the Temperance card is creating this, let's call it a special brew, this energetic special brew of what the soul said it would do. You note that the archangel of the Temperance card, 1 foot on ground, 1 foot in water. And in the far distance, and it's like the moon card, the crab comes up out of the water and goes along the path in the moon card. Well, here you can see very verdant, you have the purple lilies and so forth. The Temperance card is, you know, that temperance, we're in the forge and we're getting out all the impurities so that what remains is of the highest purity and quality. And in the distance, in the background, is this beautiful 10 of Cups illuminated rainbow with the crown, this crown of righteousness. So the Temperance card is aligning us with what our soul said it would do. And that each one is like a fractal, like a snowflake, a fractal. It's unique, it's specific, it's divine, it's purposeful, it's intended. And then comes the Tower moment. And again, the Tower moment isn't necessarily, it's not negative, it's divine and neutral. However, the point is we can experience it in a positive or a negative manner, depending on the choices we're making. What do I stand for? What train am I in? Where am I going? Am I doing the dive, the deep dive? Am I doing the works? Because we're going to have these undulating patterns, but there's rewards here. This is why it's like, it's like, okay, we're right here on the precipice. Here we are. And thereby, it's number 5 from the unseen, and it ties back to our main theme of unfamiliar territory advance. 5 from the unseen is the mystical journey unfolds, advances. It's all in the playing. Life is this beautiful dance. It's this beautiful symphony. It's this beautiful choreographed play that our soul, our divine essence, came to experience. And to the point of this beautiful upcoming full moon in Aquarius chart, it's full of magic and awe and wonder and deliverance, messages, things that will propel us forward. And yes, oppositions, obstacles meaning opportunities to overcome, emptying the vessel, releasing, repairing what's spoiled, splitting apart, all of these things that we must let go of in order to be our purest, most authentic selves. Back to Astrology by Lauren. When Saturn, the planet of reality, is conjunct together with Neptune, the planet of illusion, the truth becomes a lie and the lie becomes the truth. So it is hard to believe what we see, hear, or sense. We find it difficult to believe what our own eyes are telling us. Perhaps we ignore what is right there in front of us. But over the next few weeks, the obvious will be hard to ignore. They come together to blast a light, to shine a light on truth, on exactly where we are individually and collectively. It's always that beautiful idiom, you're never lost, you're always somewhere. Simply ask, where am I? You'll hear the answer. It may say to you, you're in denial, you're in stagnation, you're awaiting a new arrival. It's going to tell you where you are. As the people you are accustomed to having there for you, or certain structures begin to crumble, dissolve, and fade like so many ashes, it can leave something of a void. And so we attempt to fill in that void with our own dialogues, our trepidation, fear, and imaginary outcomes. We simply cannot see where this is all leading, but we're beginning to get a glimpse. We're in unfamiliar territory. The hermit's lantern, the star and the light, it doesn't show us what's down and around the corner. It's just what's next. So we begin to get a glimpse, and the uncertainty can feel so uncomfortable. Starfish out of water. But truly, the only way to work through times of uncertainty is to be as present as possible, moving through time and space, one day at a time, one step at a time. As different as these planets are from one another, Saturn's firm grasp on reality and the material world, its pragmatism and authority versus Neptune's illusory world of the imagination, the dream world, our wistful hopes and dreams. These can be reconciled when our ideals are also practical, when our dreams are actually realistically achievable, when we're willing to do the works, when we're willing to show up. What do I stand for? Am I willing to take a deep dive? Am I willing to face myself? Am I willing to hear the truth? Not my truth, not your truth, not a truth, the truth. The truth comes from the soul, from your soul source connection. So when our ideals are also practical, when our dreams are actually realistically achievable, the conjunction of these two can be far-reaching in laying the groundwork for fulfilling some of our more utopian ideals. Right now, it can feel a bit like all those dreams are being put to the test. Yes, because we are literally under the barrage, under the gun of the old empire, the old era collapsing. It's meant to, because we're meant to regenerate, renew. So individually, what within us needs to be let go of? What aspect of ourselves is holding us back, is keeping us from being the most pure, authentic, vibrant being that we are? Because anything that restricts that is a mask. It's layering it. It's layer upon layer. And eventually it gets so burdened, so layered, that your true authenticity, your light, is barely recognizable. It can barely be seen. And yet it is the most fundamental formidable aspect. It is your greatest strength, light, and experience, achievement in life is to reconcile, align with that, lead with that, and watch what happens next. It's magical. Astrology by Lauren continues. Conjunctions, togetherness, conjunctions are indicative of new beginnings, all the more so in the very first degree of the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. And so, Saturn and Neptune seem to be ushering in a new era. Not unusual for these Saturn-Neptune cycles to begin by first dissolving the old era, either symbolically or literally, actually, and then envisioning a new one. This Saturn-Neptune cycle is unusual for a few reasons. For one, it is at the very first degree of the zodiac. So these two powerhouses, Saturn and Neptune, coming together at the very first degree of the zodiac denotes new beginnings, major new beginnings. Combined with all the other outer planets also changing signs, which we've been talking about, it could feel like the whole world is shifting on its axis, we've talked about that, and bringing us all along for the ride. Another reason this ingress of the Saturn-Neptune cycle is unusual is that it falls at the exact midpoint of a trine, harmonious aspect in astrology, between inventive Uranus and transformational Pluto. This is indicative of an incredibly illuminating and creative period of our lives. We will see the effects of these transits manifesting in the outer world over the next few years, but there will also be times when these transits become more personal, and the next few weeks are going to be one of those times. This is because several of the innermost personal planets are getting involved, which then culminates at the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th. Even when Mercury stationed on July 18th for its retrograde phase, it was making an aspect to Saturn and Neptune. Even then, the planetary gods were asking us, what is it that is standing in the way of us living our own best life? What is standing in the way of our authenticity? This is what Astrology by Lauren is speaking to. And how auspicious these next weeks are, certainly these next months. I mean, between now and again, early 2026, there's going to be a lot. Undulating patterns of harmony and discord, battle ropes, cosmic waves, intense ripples and waves like you've never seen or witnessed before. Because we're splitting apart from the old. It is deconstructing the previous era. Astrology by Lauren. Is there something that you have been in denial about, but now can no longer ignore? Are there certain truths about a situation that are coming to light, shattering your illusions? Is there something you did not want to have to admit or face, but now must? Is there something you can do about your current circumstances? And if not, what can you change in your perspective that will better help you to cope? On Thursday, tomorrow, Venus entered Cancer and is now, that was last Thursday, entered Cancer and is now making a square to Saturn and Neptune. A square is a frictional aspect. It's energy that needs to be released. This is a transit of conflict between what you want to be true and the way things actually are. This can be a time of disenchantment and disillusionment. We feel unsupported and cut off from what we want, wish, or desire, and question what we are actually seeing with our own eyes. At times, it seems easier to believe a familiar fantasy, wistful hope, or dream than it is to admit an uncomfortable truth. This is about dealing with truth. And it's about standing in your authenticity, your soul source connection, light, energy, essence. Kiki is saying it's good change though, right? Yes. And again, how we individually experience it and collectively experience it, what we're bearing witness to on the national and international stages is painful to watch and bear witness to. And yet the weight of it will be its own undoing. It has been this way since time immemorial. And so, yes, do we have to walk through this moment? But is it good change? It is indeed. Because where it delivers us, those that seek and want this higher octave of ourselves, of society, of our relationships and our communities and our institutions and companies, we have to have the reckoning of the old and then the reconciliation of it. That's what comes from it. Astrology by Lauren concludes, retrograde Saturn is asking us how much we really want this person, this thing, this goal. It will toss all sorts of challenges and obstacles in our path, delay things, even stop us in our tracks. Challenges and obstacles are opportunities to overcome, to transcend. She goes on to say, and retrograde Neptune is asking us what we are or are not willing to sacrifice to manifest our goals. What are we willing to give up? The masks, the identities, the scripts, the stories, the labels, all of these outdated things, all of these things that we think make us something. Where in reality, we came into this life with our soul. We exit this life with our soul, as our soul. That is the soul, S-O-L-E, that is the sole thing that matters. Everything else is set dressing. It's not who we are. Who we are is our soul. Our soul source connection. What's at your center? What do I stand for? It may seem at this time that we are hard-pressed to decide in the face of what feels like mounting pressures and obligations. Mars enters Libra today on Wednesday and will oppose Saturn and Neptune, testing many alliances, agreements, and treaties. Do they stand the test of time? Are they worth the effort? Are they built on a house of sand? Are they meant to collapse? If they are, let go of them. Those that are already struggling will feel the strain. Even good, solid relationships will be tested in this weather, and by the time we reach the full moon on August 9th, there will be no room for evasiveness or trying to avoid a situation that can no longer be ignored. Secrets will be revealed, illusions shattered, and things once hidden are brought out into the light of day. This is also when any unrealistic expectations begin to fall away. As we approach the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th, we are going to be given an opportunity to see things in a whole new light and from another perspective. It's the hangman in the tarot. In the meantime, be present, focusing on what is right here in front of you, and take one step at a time, one day at a time, welcoming in whatever each new day brings. And this is an exact alignment with, and we had this and we mentioned it a few shows back, the Sabian symbol from Dane Rudyer and Astrological Mandala, the Sabian symbol for the moon, when it reaches its peak illumination, it will be at, per the Farmer's Almanac, it'll be at 17 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol is 18 degrees. A man's secret motives are being publicly unmasked. The difficulty for the modern individual to keep secret his or her private past or his or her deeper motives, this deeper dive, this hidden depths and hidden recesses, and that it symbolically says this stage refers to the unmasking of hidden motives and personal secrets. It may refer to the publicizing of past behavior. So again, when we're willing to dive to the depths, when you're willing to just come out, I'm reminded in the moment, the unseen is showing me like celebrities and, sex tapes and whatever, when you just simply own it, it's done. There's the air is out of the tire. So whatever it may be, just own, atone, release. Own it. It's fine. Everything is purposeful. The only way it's given oxygen or power, weaponized power, is when we look to evade, when we look to try and hide it. But there's an unmasking here. And whether it's individually, this is applicable to all of us, or those that are in great positions of power, this stage refers to the unmasking of hidden motives and personal secrets. It may refer to the publicizing of past behavior. And the key will be, to what degree, again, which train are you on? because when we are all human, we have all made choices. We have all made, these things that we may later regret or wish we had done differently. But what matters is what we do with it in the moment now. It's how we rise to it now. It's how, when we are faced with it in the future, we make different choices better, different choices and decisions. Because we're doing the works. Because we're aligning with our soul. And we recognize that everything is purposeful. And so, we are more empowered when we surrender to the purity and the truth of that, when we shine a light on it in the most positive, pure way. So now let's move to hexagram. We're working with 3 hexagrams. And we're just going to touch on them briefly, but hexagram 54 is known as marrying maidens. And it's a beautiful story about back in the day in the great dynasties of China. And there were 2 warring factions. And you either make war or you make love, you make peace. And so the one emperor, the faction, sent his eldest daughter to be married to the prince, the son of the other warring faction. And in doing so, the emperor said to the youngest daughter, "Get in the cart." And she said, "But where am I going? Unfamiliar territory. Where am I going?" "Get in the cart. Just get in the cart." So she ends up getting in the cart, going along with her eldest sister. The eldest sister marries, but she comes to be barren, the eldest sister. And so the youngest sister, unfamiliar territory, Advance, who didn't know where she was going. She couldn't see down and around the corner. She was just being told, a starfish out of water. She's being told, just get in the cart. She has no idea what's happening. Everything she's known as being left. And yet she ends up becoming the empress of a combined dynasty that spans millennia, centuries. And so it's marrying maidens. And its influence, its hidden influences after completion, renew. The end is in the beginning is in the end. And its underlining cause is development, flower. It's our first quote. Not the cry, but the flight of the wild duck leads the flock to fly and follow. It's a Chinese proverb. See, it's not about the cry. It's about the act, the action. It's the flight of the wild duck that leads the flock to fly and follow. Well, it's the youngest sister, the youngest daughter, that gets in the cart. The marrying maiden is about subordinating the will or learning to accept what cannot be changed. You may find yourself in a suspended situation because of changes another is going through or events beyond your control. At the same time, a sudden turn of events can place you in a very unfamiliar environment where you have no experience to draw upon. The Eight of Wands, fast-moving communication, fast-moving energies that place you in unfamiliar territory. You can't do much about the situation other than wait to regain your freedom of movement. It is not uncommon to receive this hexagram when you are seeking a partnership with someone who is currently unavailable. As the second wife or concubine, you may be the other woman or other man in a backup position. The hidden influence of after completion underscores a time of waiting for some type of change or completion to sort itself out. It's about divine timing. It's about, the star card in the Hermit's lantern that only illuminates the next steps. And so there is this sense of sorting things out and patience, nourished while waiting, allowing these things to come to be. There is no reason to think that you cannot achieve the objective of your desire. However, the act of subordination, surrender to yourself, is necessary, and that is not an easy thing for most people. By operating in the unfamiliar, we are returned to modesty. By operating in the unfamiliar, by trusting the unseen, your soul source connection, it delivers you, it humbles you, it returns you to a state of modesty. And in that, it's so empowering because then you're not worried, you're not fretting, you just know. What's meant to be will be. What is yours is yours. No one can take that from you. And thus, however, it means be aligned, be listening, be open, be receptive. Next, we work with hexagram 56. These are all from Carrie Hone at cafeausoul.com. Hexagram 56 is the wanderer. Its action is to explore. Its hidden influence is critical mass, adjust, and its underlining cause is limitation, regulate. It brings us to our second quote. The greatest traveler does not know where they are going. This is from the master. The greatest traveler does not know where they are going. There's such a beauty in that statement because it means that you are open to go as guided. We talk about go as guided. Listen to your soul. You'll know what to do. It's a knowing. You'll know what not to do. And when we stay in alignment with that, when we surrender ego, mind, personality, human, in service to the soul source connection, watch what happens next. It's the mystical journey unfolds and advances. It's all in the plane. It is said that the greatest wanderer does not know where they are going. After the zenith of the previous hexagram, there usually follows an anticlimactic period where the atmosphere becomes uncertain again. And this is true of the time. We had this certainty and this knowing of where we were in life. And then the end of that era comes, the collapse of it comes, and the arrival of the new. It's unfamiliar territory, starfish out of water. You may need to leave your comfort zone in search of new horizons. The wanderer symbolizes the message that it is the journey and not the destination that is important. Something is changing and you will need to be flexible to adapt. Familiar routines and old hangouts will no longer do. You may find yourself surrounded by strangers in a strange environment, but there is a need for this newness. The hidden influence of critical mass shows the importance of not becoming too complacent, where stability can lead to stagnation and even collapse. The underlying cause of limitation shows the opposite condition, where we hold to the familiar and abide by rules. For now, the vista's open before you, and like the Fool in the Tarot, we mentioned earlier, in the Tarot deck, it is time for an adventure. Taking the road less traveled, the narrow gate, or leaving the ordinary behind is the only way to invigorate your sense of discovery. Wandering or traveling is an opportunity to examine the baggage you carry with you. Perhaps it is time to lighten your load. You may be changing residences or careers, and an open-minded attitude will serve you well as you approach the changes. You can become a gardener of people and yourself by acknowledging how individual differences can lead you to experience something new about yourself. Your way is only one way, so be open to what wandering into the unknown can teach you. And it brings us to our third quote. The greatest traveler has no itinerary. When traveling, be a gardener of every new experience. Also by the master. And so we have this beautiful storytelling of how it is about the wanderer. It is about the beauty of the marrying maidens. All about adventures, all about new beginnings, all about uncertainty, unfamiliar territory, all about advancing, and all about how to stay humble, modest, and seek beauty in every new experience because it will keep revealing and expanding what we know about ourselves, the stories, the scripts. It will rewrite them because these are all things we tell ourselves we can't do something. Or we're not good enough, or we're this, or we're that, and there's a million things that the mind, ego, mind, personality, human will tell you. And yet, what the soul knows is they just giggle and laugh, and they're patient because it's true north. And it waits for you. It awaits you. It waits for you, but it awaits you. And then, of course, again, like with these, because what's meant to be, the star is what's meant to be. The hermit shows you the way. The temperance is the one forging this beautiful, unique confluence of energies for you. It's the soul. And then comes the tower moment. And a tower can be quantum leaps. It can be exciting and wonderful. It doesn't have to be hardship. So it all depends on you. It's all in the plane. And last but not least, hexagram 48. It's the well. And this has to do with, what do I stand for? The hidden depths, the hidden recesses. It's number 48, the well. And it says, you can spend a lifetime and still never come anywhere close to exhausting. These are two quotes. You can spend a lifetime and still never come anywhere close to exhausting the resources that are inside of you. This is by Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com. We're limitless. Everything's possible. What's yours is yours. What's meant to be will be. And thus, you can spend a lifetime and still never come anywhere close to exhausting the resources that are inside of you. The second quote is by Carl Jung. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks within awakes. It's about this deep dive. It's number 6 from the unseen. And we had this a few shows back, but it's so poignant and it's different in this episode. And it is, I was blind, but now I see. It's from John 9:25. And they said, the veil of denial lifts, with an exclamation point. The phrase, I was blind, but now I see, is a well-known quote often associated with John 9:25, where a man born blind recounts his healing by Master Jesus. It's a powerful statement about spiritual transformation and enlightenment, representing a shift from ignorance or spiritual darkness to understanding and truth, often linked to a newfound faith in Master Jesus, the unseen, the divine. In the Gospel of John, Jesus encounters a man who was born blind. He heals the man by anointing his eyes with mud and telling him to wash in the pool of Siloam. The man's sight is restored and he is brought before the Pharisees. The Pharisees, skeptical of the miracle, question the man repeatedly. He responds with the famous quote, one thing I do know, I was blind, but now I see. This statement is not just about physical sight, but also represents spiritual blindness and how Master Jesus has brought him clarity and understanding. The phrase has become a common idiom used to describe anyone who has experienced a similar shift in understanding, perspective, or faith. It can represent a spiritual awakening, a change in beliefs, or a newfound appreciation for something. The phrase is also found in the hymn Amazing Grace, further solidifying its place in pop culture and religious discourse. In essence, I was blind, but now I see is a powerful testament to the transformative power of faith and the ability of Master Jesus to open eyes to spiritual truth. When we connect to the unseen, the host, the master weaver, the divine, Allah, Buddha, God, the all that is, it can literally open your eyes. It can literally transform you. I was blind, but now I see. This is the journey we're on. This is this moment about unfamiliar territory, advance, the starfish out of water. Because number 7 and number 8 from the unseen. And I love this. They were left blank. 1 through 6, boom, 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 boom. They gave them to me. The unseen gave them to me. And 7 and 8, until literally minutes before the show, 7 and 8 were left open. I had written 7 and 8 down, but they were open. And then all of a sudden I heard Open Sesame. That is a show from January 5th, 2022. And that was Open Sesame, open access to the new. But what the unseen said was 7, 8, so doubles, things that come in doubles or triples. And they said, Open Sesame, the unseen comes bearing gifts. 3 exclamation points. And in last week's show, we had all these 3s. So there's an aspect here of, again, what train are you on? Which gate, which path have you chosen? What do you stand for? All of this matters because the unseen comes bearing gifts. Gifts are like everything. Everything's energy, everything's divine and neutral. So remember, those gifts can be seen as, cosmic 2x4s coming out, just whacking the crud out of you. They don't have to. You can be in alignment with your soul. You can be in alignment with source. You can be in alignment with the way. You can be in alignment with this time, this era, this beautiful transition from Piscean to Aquarian, from patriarchal to matriarchal, from me to we, from ego, mind, personality, human to soul source connection. So the unseen, open sesame, the unseen comes bearing gifts. These energies from this astrological chart are high octane. And thus, be ready, watch what happens next, because it is fast moving energy, fast moving communication, fast moving everything. And there's just a beauty in this. There's a beauty in this. So be good to yourselves, be good to other, be the starfish story, because again, that ripples out. It's like that paying it forward. You're in the drive-thru or something and you get up to, pay for your order and they say the car before you paid, and you just do it again and again. And that chain, that ripple of positivity, of something unfamiliar, unknown, and how beautiful that is and how it sets the tone. You never know the extent of that ripple. Maybe that one person in that one day was the one time they could afford to go through that line to treat themselves, but they had to pay for it. And the person before them paid for them, which allowed them to pay for the next person. It amplifies the gift. It magnifies the outcome. And you never know what that one single small act does in the greater ripple of humanity, of life, and how positively aspected it is. So until next week, be well, be kind. I love you all. I am so honored and humbled and thrilled to be on this journey with you. And I cannot wait to see what the unseen has for us next week. Until then, be well.